Let's say goodbye to all your worries about tax planning, investment troubles, and any confusion when it comes to managing your finances and money. Here at Rocky Hill Accountants, our team has a combined 35 years of experience and will help you do it right. We're dedicated to your needs and will deliver on a result that is professional and trustworthy. Our firm is large enough to offer a full range of professional services, but small enough to give you the individual attention that you deserve. Our business portfolio includes thousands of prepared tax returns for individuals, families, partnerships, businesses, and more. The team at Rocky Hill Accountants are also thoroughly trained in tax laws and procedures. We have the ability to represent taxpayers before the IRS when they arrive at collections, audits, and appeals. This allows us to offer our accuracy and audit guarantee to tax clients. Please visit our website at rockyhillaccountants.com or give us a call at 860-257-4238 to schedule an appointment.
I will get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. I can't even say to my left. I almost got confused, man. We got a whole new setup. Production crew did an amazing job. But to my right, directly in front of me, Joe Aguirre. How you doing, brother?
I'm excellent. It's funny. I was actually asleep when you got here.
Yes.
Out cold, but the
Out like
motorcycle rolled up and I was up.
See, the motorcycles save lives. Well, loud pipe saved lives. I tell people all the time, if you're gonna get a motorcycle, the people got to be able to hear you coming. If they can hear you coming,
we heard.
See,
yeah.
And I knew where I was. Like I made sure right when I turned the right, as I was turning the right, I started thumbing my music down so it wasn't too loud. I have 4 speakers on my bike, and I know the area that I'm in. So I didn't want to. I already know that I'm probably going to piss off old school next door. So from pissing off old school, I'm probably going to leaving at whatever time I leave here. I wanted at least make it as painless as possible, or does that make sense?
I would say so.
Yeah. So I even made sure that I even turned my music down even more when I got into your driveway. So that way, because I'm king of pulling my bike in and then just pulling my bike in and it's loud. So I'll turn my bike off, forget that my music's blaring. When I go to get back on my bike, I'll turn it on and it's a concert.
Yeah.
Right on. And it's not connected to the Bluetooth, so it's all probably just radio, whatever's on the radio. 9 times out of 10, it's an ad. So it's just somebody's yelling at me, buy soap detergent, and I'm like, oh shit, I just wanted to get on my bike.
Fun.
So, but outside of that, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Please let me know if I piss anybody off tonight as I leave. If they're like, hey, the big black dude on the big black Harley is just.
There's a Facebook group. I'm sure I'll read about it.
Whose friend is this? Tell him to slow down and be quiet as I'm literally trying to putt in first gear slowly off of your street. But I actually have just been warned, everybody, that apparently your town has, and I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot, knock on wood. Your town has a very strange new commissioner or police chief. So I definitely feel like I've been warned that I need to be careful. We don't know how he takes to my kind or these kind of things. So apparently he has his force doing their job out in these streets, making sure they arrest and give tickets and citations, and they're out and watching. So I'll be very vigilant as I leave. Make sure I put both feet on the ground as I come to stops. Don't give them a reason. Don't forget to turn my turn signals on. Give it a good 2 seconds, when I'm switching lanes, and keep it going.
So we've had a real sitch here in town recently. This lovely suburb of Hartford.
Oh, not the suburbs.
Where we have seen
Sketchy, what's good, bro?
A lot of children from Hartford coming in, stealing cars.
Kids from Hartford?
Yeah.
Is that the presumption, or is that the facts?
Because
I've seen some pictures.
Yeah. Well, listen,
and I might be stereotyping when we say kids from Hartford.
Yeah.
Because kids from Hartford are of all racist creeds and cultures.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So I think even when the white kids are doing it, it's Hartford kids.
Probably not crazy.
Probably not kids from town. I'll say this. I hope it's not kids in town, because you don't shit where you eat.
They don't know that though. They're just they're Rob, having fun. They don't know. I was
16. My best friend, Puerto Rican kid, good dude. One night he said to me, "Hey, let's go steal some car stereos." And I was like, "I don't want to do that."
Smart.
I went anyway.
I went anyway. Just went anyway.
I was curious.
Let's see what happens.
I think he was my ride too. I didn't really have much of a choice, and we went, and we went one town over, where people wouldn't know us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're
gonna commit crime. You're not gonna do it where you're gonna run into like a teacher or like your mom's sister.
That's Mr. Johnson's old school.
Rob, you're like, no, it ain't me.
Isn't that Billy Son's car? Yeah, we know that, right? Got you.
Yeah, so we, not to mention it's Meriden, so you're not really trying to bump a car in Meriden. You want to go to Cheshire or Southington, where they got some nice cars. So that's why I make the assumption that it's not local kids. Local kids vandalize. You don't steal.
They don't steal. Exactly. So even the video, because they made it a big old staple state now, like it's on the news, every news channel that Glastonbury and you guys are out here making your own cult now to save the streets from all this. So I'm like, well, where do you guys start? Do you start looking at your own children? Do you start opening up these bedroom doors and just saying, hey, what are you doing, Johnny? Why? What are you doing? Because these videos are showing a whole different complexion. Like you said, local kids vandalize. They don't necessarily steal. If they're going to steal, they're stealing things of like from local. Like they're homeboys, whatever. They're hitting a lick, right? They're not going so far out where they don't know the streets.
Right. I'll tell you what. Last Halloween with the ring lights, you saw what the lokes do. You saw what the local kids are up to. Because a lot of people. Let me tell you something. If you leave a bucket of candy outside of your house and you turn in for the night at like 7:30, fuck off.
It's gone.
Why wouldn't the first person? I know it's selfish, but you're being lazy. You're being selfish.
Facts.
Here, just honor system. Get people all ramped up on sugar. What are they supposed to do? I see a bucket with like 20 Reese's peanut butter cups. I want it. And
it's fair game at that point. If you're gonna leave candy unsupervised, you know what's gonna happen. Don't get all
right. Instead, they want to because they did this in all the Facebook groups. They Halloween they started. They were like, here's the kids, because again they made the assumption that the kids were out of towners. I don't believe that. That was Weathersfield kids.
Do you know how far that is? Like that's. Even on a bike ride
to steal some candy, that's not worth it. Again,
they'll go to like
a car, or the other big thing is, and again, don't leave your fucking doors unlocked. Also, I made them stupid. Why would you leave cash in your unlocked car? Where do you live, Bayberry? What are you doing? Cash in the car unlocked.
It's my property. And
also, you poor fuck, get a garage.
Or maybe an auto lock. I know or get a car that auto locks when your fob's not like 15 feet to it or something. You know what I'm saying?
People complain a lot. That's all I know.
So, but it goes hand in hand with our theme of the episode today. Because remember, we're going to be bringing back a little bit later on. pretty much what our plan would be in our major heist if we were to have a major heist, right? Do you remember? Hopefully you remember your plan and what your major heist would be and who it would be, because I've thought about it all week, and I think I have a good scheme. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But of course we'll start off two highs and two lows. Do you want to go first or shall I go?
Well, I'll go.
All right. Give me your high and your
go.
low.
Well, this is hilarious. I'll keep it short as not to bore anybody. Plus, we're talking about the Olympics in a little bit. My wiffle ball team tailed off this season and got off to a good start.
Mm-hmm.
We had to play a play-in game and win that, and then beat the top seed twice and couldn't lose, or we were eliminated.
Jeez.
I told my wife, I'll probably be an hour, and that'll be the end of it.
Yep.
And, we pulled off a miracle. She didn't appreciate the miracle, unfortunately, but 5.5 hours later, we're playing in the championship round next week.
Look at that.
Hey.
You beat the odds, and
amazing.
You probably got a lot of shit for it.
Oh, yeah.
And
she was terrible about it. Didn't appreciate it one bit. Couldn't see the beauty in what I do.
See, and how do we, and listen up. And I'm not just gonna say ladies, but anybody, right? In a relationship, and this kind of goes with the flow of, because we'll be talking about relationships later as well. But just be open. You might not necessarily like it, what's going on, but if you actually take some heed, and you might be mad when they come in from doing whatever they were doing, not saying bad, but whatever sport or extracurricular activity that they're doing, right? If you take the 2 minutes to maybe show some kind of interest, it will solve a whole probably hour of headache and argument. For what? Because we definitely do it. I know I do it. I know you do it. So it's just try that sometimes. You know what I mean? And you might get a lot further in life. So not in life, but you might turn a negative to a positive. You might turn a low into a high.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. I don't know.
And then imagine instead of, because I'm sure you had to go to your buddies and high five each other via text and all that other stuff, and then she's probably like, why is he on his phone?
Oh yeah,
totally. Why is he
every minute of it?
He's on his phone, he's talking to the guy, he's already spent enough time. Well, I would not have to spend my time texting and high fiving and congratulating if you were interested. So I hope mine's listening. Yeah, you. But my high and my low would be, I think I said last week that my bike, that I was happy that I got my bike back, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with my low. My low is, well, my high and my low go together, right? So my high is I get a weekend away, kid-free weekend. So we're going to be able to get away, go do something fun, kind of maybe rejuvenate things a little bit, right? But the low is trying to find a place to go right now is impossible without spending an arm and a leg, literally. So I hear in the news, oh, the hotel industry is suffering and they can't get people to book. Well, you want to know why? The prices are outrageous. I'm not paying $305 a night for the Ramada Inn. No, ma'am. No, thank you. I'll pass. So it's just that's your problem. You're out, and it goes into one of my questions that further topic again today, but with all this going on with COVID and the economy, it's just who is making these prices? If minus, right, the pandemic's not here. Well, not to say the pandemic's not here, but we're not in lockdown. You still have your services. You have workers. People are working. People apparently are going back to work. Unemployment's going down, right? So why are your prices high? Some things I could probably understand if there's a shortage, but it seems like there's really not a shortage anywhere of anything. Everybody's pretty much rebounding. So why is it okay to jack up prices? I saw in the news earlier that there's a new trend of it's pretty much a pandemic shortage of so you'll get maybe a half an ounce less of chips in your bags, even though you already get maybe a quarter of chips in a full ass bag of chips. So you might get an eighth of a bag of chips now, and it's okay. It's acceptable. So they can cut, so they can cut losses. But it's just what the hell? This is not, this is literally capitalism at its finest. You're capitalizing on everybody else's losses. Why is gas $3 something? Everybody was perfectly fine when it was $1 something during the pandemic. Why does it need to be $3 something now?
Things have gone back. So like, why? Because there's a need. It still doesn't matter. Like your inflation is not going to change anything but make you richer. And you wonder why people don't want to fucking book somewhere.
This afternoon, no joke, I was thinking about capitalism.
Mhm.
And I was thinking to myself, if you're a fan of capitalism, then you have to admire price gouging.
Mhm.
You have to think that is the epitome of business, right?
Mhm.
Price gouging. When Houston got flooded a couple of years ago, right? And people were charging like $40-$50 for a 12-pack of water. You get fined for that. It's against a lot of price gouge. But if you think about, I mean, what is capitalism? Right? It's a system of supply and demand, right? And the more you can make, the less you can make it, and all that.
Yeah, and I understand that.
So in theory,
fucking bullshit.
In theory, in a tragedy and a catastrophe, price gouging is like the pinnacle of capitalism.
True. Yeah. And I get it. I get the game. I understand it. I play the game. It's a shitty game, especially when I'm sitting here just trying to like get myself a used truck. I just want a used truck. I don't want nothing fucking crazy. But what pisses me off while I'm on the subject is that like I look at a price for a truck in Connecticut and it's $10,000 more than if I were just take a 16-hour road trip or even take a flight down to like Georgia or Florida. And I'm like, why? Some transportation, it costs you $600 to ship it from wherever to this coast. Why am I paying so much more? Of course, people are going to say the taxes and all this other. That's why. Like, that's stupid. I even think about the emissions tax. The emissions, right? We pay $20 or $25 to do your thing. If it's late, we had a late, our shit was due late. $20 for what? It's not messing anything else up. My car's a 2005. Like, just because we literally had things to do on our mind, you know what I mean? Like, an emissions test on it. Like, what is this $45 going to? The roads are still shitty. You can't hold a transportation budget that was supposed to be locked. And then, so just even back to the truck. So why am I paying this much more for the same value? Fuck this supply and demand shit. This is it. I just hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. When you look at looking at properties. Why? Just because people just want more? I'm sorry, your used vehicle, your used piece of shit house is not worth what you think this inflation is carried over to. Like, it makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it makes no sense, right? I don't know. That kind of, so that's my high and low kind of pissed off. Well, going back to my high and low. So if anybody has like a good suggestion of a good getaway, like a small town, New England, New York, New Jersey, that was the thing. We had an idea to go to Philly. Like, cool, we're gonna go to Philly. Guess how much it is to park one night in Philly at a hotel? At the hotel, in their parking garage, $60. Why am I paying $60 extra on top of a $378 room a night?
You know what you should do is find a bed and breakfast.
That's what I've been trying to do, but guess what? They're all booked. Everybody's going somewhere, and the bed and breakfasts like $700. $500. I'm not paying $1,000 to spend 2 nights for if I would come to your bed and breakfast a year from now when everybody's traveling and everything else is all willy-nilly, and you're begging somebody to come over here and you're going to have it for $120.
Let's find Rob a bed and breakfast that's reasonably priced and is available soon. If you know of one, pass that information
Pass
along.
it on. Please pass it on. Let's get into the comments a little bit. I see some people are up in here. Sketchy, how you doing, brother? Sketchy says, wait, why is Joe sipping a Truly? I'm close to sealing a deal with White Claw now. It's blown. Oh, that's come hilarious. On, Joe.
And I'll be honest, here's how little I pay attention. I didn't know this was a Truly until I saw your comment. I was like, oh, is it really?
White
No wonder
Claws
this is so
only.
good.
That's. I saw something that like I guess that trend is actually kind of dying down. I don't know. It was in the news. Of course, another like capitalism. Everybody just makes their own. Well, we have our own hard seltzer. We have our own hard seltzer. Also, I saw another one from Sketchy. The common man and woman continue to get screwed. Of course, prices are skyrocketing everywhere and wages continue to stay stagnant since the 1970s. Come to California, you can see the same. Oh, I'm not going to California to live. I will go there to stay if I have somewhere to like if I can come stay in your spare room on your couch, Sketchy, I am there. I am not. No, California is expensive just to breathe. I don't see why people want to go there. Like, it's just the lavish life. Like, why just to be like, oh, I'm lavish. I'm good. There's so much more things that I would rather spend my money on.
I'll tell you
Outside of the
honestly, I've been to Cali a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Like,
it's
the fucking palm trees and shit. I like that.
So
of course it's expensive.
$400,000 would probably get me a shack.
Gotta ball out. Yo, you know what's bad? I was in San Francisco a few years ago, and a buddy of mine, this is a funny story. A buddy of mine was working at a radio station in San Francisco, and he moved from Portland, Maine to San Francisco. And for like a 1-bedroom apartment, this kid was spending like $2,200.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cannot live. People complain about New York City. San Francisco is awful.
I heard, and it's supposed to be like one of the most liberalist like cities in America.
The best thing ever was I shouldn't say it like that. Was a terrible way to tell a story. He had to move to Oakland.
Oh, jeez.
To move across the bridge,
which is still expensive, probably.
No, Oakland's reasonable, but the first night they were walking to a restaurant to go eat, and they got robbed by gunpoint. Fucking Oakland.
Gotta know your surroundings, but. So needless to say, yeah, if anybody knows, please give me drop in the comments, drop in the messages, all that, somewhere to go. Always be aware of your surroundings. Stay safe and stay dangerous out here, people. Stay safe and stay dangerous.
San Francisco's nice. Napa,
I've been to San Diego before.
Big fan of Napa Valley.
Okay. Really, I hear good things about that.
That's a nice place to go.
Yeah.
Go on like a wine tasting tour.
That would be nice.
Just make sure your wife eats.
Oh, see, that would be mine. Like, well, not my wife, but like my significant other would definitely not eat, and she would just be down in wine, and then I would have to carry her or escort her out. It never fails. So yeah.
Well, hopefully she doesn't vomit at that bed and breakfast.
Oh God, hope not. So still pissed off. Am I pissed off about anything this week? Yeah. I almost got
killed.
Well, yeah, well that
Maimed.
that was previous. This was I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna say before. Yep, that's racist. So bet I'm still pissed off, but I'm really not pissed off anymore because it got situated. So
okay.
I told you I was out riding the other day. Went to go meet up with some people. I'm on the southwest Connecticut, so the very upper side of Connecticut, and I'm by the shoreline. So I'll park my bike, find a nice little spot. Everybody's parked on the road. I go do my thing. There's a nice park. Looking at the water. So I'm there for about 45 minutes, take some medicine, just chill out. I'm loving the new laws. So, taking advantage of everything. So spend about another like 30 minutes by the water, just taking everything in. I'm like, oh, I got some snacks, right? So I go to get my snacks in my bike. I'm sitting on my bike. I lay back, kick my feet up on my bars, doing some biker shit, A lady comes and goes, excuse me. So I just, yeah. You need to get off of that bike. I know who owns that motorcycle. Joe.
Oh my God, why?
Joe. I busted out laughing, dying
oh my God.
So hard.
Wow.
I said, please go get him. Please go get him. Well, you need to get off of the motorcycle right now. Please go get the owner. So, hello? Hello, Steven? There's a guy laying on your motorcycle. Guess where Steven's at? Steven's in the Cape.
Oh,
Guess where his motorcycle is?
the Cape.
In the Cape.
Yeah,
Guess what kind of motorcycle he has?
not that one.
Not that one. He does. I have a Harley Davidson Road Glide. He has a Harley Davidson Fat Bob. Google it, people. If you don't know Harley Davidsons, Google Harley Davidson Road Glide, Harley Davidson Fat Bob.
Those sound very different.
So I talked to Steven because Steven wants to apologize. I had the lady's phone. I said, "Can I please talk to Steven?" Steven calls. Well, I call Steven and I say, "Steven, I apologize for that. I hear you're a writer. I would love to come see you. You know what I mean? Whenever you meet a writer, you get on, come show me around. I'd love to have you." So, anyways, he apologizes and he goes, "She's batshit crazy. Like, apparently she's like 77 years old and she's in the retirement condos out there and the third.
Yeah.
And apparently she yells at Steven for his motorcycle being too loud when he pulls in. And, so he's like, "I'm so sorry. This, that, and the third. Please come out. I'll take you to the little oyster and lamb spot. I know the guy right there." Cool. So, needless to say, what turned out to a low, pissed off. I was ready to just like eat her up though. So I'm like, "Oh, you know the owner? Oh, please." So it was great.
Did you see Jared's comment?
I did not. I was in the what
I don't know why this bike thief has a matching helmet. Sprinkle some crack on him and let's get out of here.
I'm telling you,
hilarious.
It was. I'm like, that's so funny. Like, if you look at my motorcycle, that's not a bike that I would assume Steven would have. Like, I have a more urbanized motorcycle. I have 4 speakers on my thing. It's chromed out. Even though I don't really like chrome, I got it with chrome, and it's too expensive to murder everything out at this point. But you know what I mean? It's it looks like it looks like a black guy owns it. It looks like somebody with style.
Is it wrong to ask this question? But I feel like whenever I see a motorcycle and they're blaring music, it's a black guy.
It's a black guy.
Am I wrong? That's not wrong to say?
No, you know what?
I mean, it's not like it's never a white guy. I've gotten in so much trouble with, well, not so much trouble. I only get in trouble with my music on my motorcycle in white areas: West Hartford, Avon, Norwalk, or if you
Norwalk.
Came through playing Leonard Skinner or Def Leppard, I'm sure it wouldn't be an issue.
Nope. I was playing Nirvana.
Really? Smells Like Teen Spirit.
There we go. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Going through Avon, right through Yukon, that whole strip. It was late at night. Smells Like Teen Spirit. I'm tired as all knows what, and I'm trying to I'm being safe, but it's up there. I'm thinking no residential. There's a hospital. You can't hear it over at the hospital. I'm just on the road. He was like, the cop pulled me over and he was like, "Oh, I thought you were a car with a headlight out. And then I heard your music, so I thought you were just being ignorant. And then I realized it was a motorcycle." And I said, "Well, honestly, my music was halfway. I can show you what it is like full." So I showed it to him full. And luckily, like, it was blaring when I put it full up. And he was like, "Okay, you're good. Just turn it down a little bit more." I was literally trying to be respectful because I know my music's loud.
That can't be in the handbook of like how to survive a police stop. Like, you think that shit's loud? Let me show you what I could. What?
Yeah, I was.
Oh my god! I would have had you up against the car and like, "Shut up, wise guy."
But I was like, but I if I say something, I have to prove it.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. If you want, I said it respectfully. I was like, not to be an asshole or whatever I said. I was like, "Here's loud," and he was like, "Okay, I get your point." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't." I said, "You didn't hear the music go down. I literally kept it because I don't want to make any movements."
I will. Here's another observation I'll make, and this one has no racial implications, but I don't think your motorcycle music has to even be loud for everyone to hear it, because there's no doors.
There you go. That's another thing.
Yeah. And you're driving fast, so the sound is moving at the speed of, I would assume, sound.
Hey,
which I know is fast.
But I do love it, and this is the last thing that I'll say about it. I do love when I'm on the highway and I actually get to blare it. People I can tell the people that don't like my music choice, and it's usually fair-skinned people, because they tend to just back up. Like, they'll get on it, and they'll be following me until they hear my music and they just kind of trail back. And they're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah. So I like it. That's another thing. And even on like the main, like the back roads, oh, I love blaring on the back roads because nobody's gonna come like have to sit behind me listening to a loud ass motorcycle and loud ass music.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it's like Jay-Z or like some 90s rap or R&B. Now, if you catch me in an R&B mood, it might be fun. Like there was somebody, I know there's a video of me in the back roads of Western Connecticut going, and I was jamming to some R&B, some 2000, like late 90s, 2000s R&B, and I was just dancing and singing, and I had a whole concert going. And there was somebody, there was a blue Ford Focus hatchback that was behind me for like a good 15 minutes. So they got a good concert for a while. And they were keeping up. I thought like I tried to like go like faster, and they were just keeping up and enjoying. I was like, cool. They turned off, and then it was just I was by myself. But, anyways, let's go. I was gonna say, let's pay a bill with DJ Refill. We'll just go with one DJ Refill, and then we'll go and give everybody a.
There's always a holiday, birthday, or any celebration to look forward to. So why not prepare now and book your favorite DJ and or photographer? Book DJ Rifa, the most versatile female DJ around for your parties or small gatherings. Need a professional photo shoot done too? Then book Reef's Views to capture your dream shots as well. Don't need either, but still curious to check out the work? You can now find DJ Rifa on shopblackct.com, the best directory for all Black-owned businesses in Connecticut. On there, you'll find DJ Rifa's Instagram at Queen of All Trades with 3 L's, where you can now look and book. Need more information but want to reach out directly? Email DJ Rifa at masonsharifa@gmail.com. Memories last a lifetime, so let's start making them.
Song. All right. So shout out to DJ Rifa. She's killing it. I will say that. If y'all check her out on Instagram, you'll see that she has this like weekly. I think she does like multiple like exercise courses that she DJs at, and it looks lit and it looks exciting. It makes me want to go like exercise for an hour and a half or like hour, however long those courses are, or those classes that she does. I gotta get her up here and see if she tell us about it, or even just as her guest, because she's a dope person. Also, she does a lot of dope shit. But anyways, I didn't even see. Oh, Jared says fair skinned people don't like Nirvana. That's funny. All right. So, what the fuck society this week? Something I was doing. Oh, since we were talking about music, what do you, if you were to think, right? And I'll give you a couple seconds to think. What would be one of the, if we were to say top 10 most influential songs of like America? I feel like Feels Like Teen Spirit would definitely be up there in that list. Like when we think of like just songs like that, come on, like like just take the show.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama. Okay.
Stairway to Heaven. You know Stairway to Heaven.
I do. Hold on. You gotta give me a. I'm looking for a lead. Just give me a hum.
Oh,
is that the no?
Like
that's not
a minute 8 intro.
Oh, okay, I got you. Is it?
It's the long guitar.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that one, Stairway to Heaven. The thong song, hilarious.
The thong song. What do people say in the comments? Let's hear.
That's a good one.
Summertime. Yeah. Okay, so Jared says Summertime.
American Pie, I feel like, is a legendary. So bye, Miss American Pie. Joe,
what is not the would Sweet Caroline be in there?
Sweet Caroline. Dun, dun, dun.
So I think so this would be interesting. We might have to actually put some thought into this and do this like next episode, because this actually could go 2 different ways, like culturally. Like, because I can see like, because I think of like, and when I say outstanding by the Batman, like I don't know if y'all would necessarily get outstanding, but I feel like if you put outstanding on anywhere, everybody's gonna like go crazy.
Eye of the Tiger
is
one of the greatest. I mean, who doesn't love that song?
Do we think that are there songs that can outstand that though? Maybe.
How about Born in the USA?
Born in the U. Yeah, for y'all, for your color, definitely. I don't see a lot of people screaming "Born in the USA." Zach says "WAP Cardi." Oh, Devonna rolls eyes at somebody. September. There we go. Devonna says September. Hey ya. I don't know. Hey ya by Outkast. That was definitely a classic. I don't know if that was Tupac California Love. Yeah. Yeah, that's a I don't know if that's definitely not something that's gonna be for America. Let's see. Anybody else? Let's see what else we got in the comments. Anybody else? Anybody else?
You don't think California Love is a universally loved and respected song?
But a
across the
top
races?
10, and I'm a Pac
Oh,
fan.
yeah.
Like, so okay, so there's I don't know. I think that there might be other songs that could come on, even rap songs that could come on, like that would go.
Like what?
I don't know how many people could rap California Love. I would be surprised.
I
would
think
be
that's
surprised.
sad. I think that's sad. All right, but maybe you're
so
right.
I feel like Gin and Juice would beat California Love.
I was gonna say
And that's just not saying
I was gonna say
culturally,
nothing
like
but a G
America.
thing would be for sure. Everybody knows that song.
Okay,
The
so,
song's huge.
So to our interns, right, or the production crew, y'all are younger. If I said Gin and Juice or Nothing But the G Thing, which one comes better, like more to mine? Gin and Juice.
You all you know is Gin and Juice. You don't know any of the rest of that song.
Okay, so you might be right. That might okay. I don't know. So let's see.
I've been to enough.
Hypnotize. Bet Hypnotize definitely beats all of those.
Slow down. It doesn't.
Hypnotize.
It doesn't.
What?
I'm telling you, it doesn't.
You don't think people come on when you put a Hypnotize on and people's not Biggie?
I find it shocking how much they mumble through that song.
Okay.
I think Nothing But a G Thing. Everybody knows that one. That shit's fire, dude.
Right,
it really is.
Listen.
I'll say Hypnotize is definitely
Don't Stop Believing Journey. Definitely. Trev, definitely Don't Stop Believing.
Who said Don't Stop Believing? It's hilarious.
Party in the USA. Oh, you know what? Miley, yeah.
Really? I think that's a terrible song.
It's a terrible song, but you put that in, everybody's like, and then you throw a wrecking ball after, it's a wrap. That's a two song set. And if you want to get fancy, go ahead and get her in her black era when she was in her J's, in her 23s, whatever that song was. I'd argue Empire State of Mind.
Is that Jay-Z?
Yeah, and Alicia Keys.
I like that one a lot. I really do.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to build this list. I say,
but what? So all right, what you've done
we
here?
Can go ahead. We can go ahead.
What you've done here is Jace Garcia, who's on a few different podcasts with me. He does stuff like this, where it's like best song, and you're like, of what? Like, is there? There's got to be of America.
Yeah,
but I threw a couple songs out, and you said. For your culture, you said, right? Like,
no, I said it could be mixed.
Those were white songs.
No, but when we look, okay, but when Don't Stop Believing comes on,
yeah,
that is probably top 3.
You guys freak out like we do.
What?
Do you? I don't know.
You put on Don't Stop Believing, you snap.
You know what it means to us now? Tony Soprano getting whacked.
Oh, see,
see, taking on a whole new thing.
But you put on Journey to us, we're definitely snapping that. So I would say that's probably top 3. I would say out of the other ones that were on here.
I'm seeing all sorts
Celebrate,
of super
definitely,
white.
Definitely Celebrate.
South Detroit doesn't even exist. That's hilarious, and it's true.
True. Devonna would know out of everybody in there.
That song is a classic. I thought it said that song is racist, and I was like, wait, how is that racist?
Never gonna give you a okay, bet. So we're gonna go. How about we do this? Next week, you come up with 20 songs, I'll come up with 20, and from that 20, we'll kind of build the list. And then if y'all want to get into, definitely either send us, message us, write it in the comments, or get your list together, and then we'll kind of like start. It might take us a couple episodes to really get this kind of list down, but I want to see if we can like dial down this list of like top songs of like America's top songs, even if it's a top 25, maybe.
I don't know what Mind Your Business is.
Mind Your Business. Oh, she was talking. to somebody.
Oh,
I bet you she was talking to Trevor. She was definitely talking to Trevor. But
Oh, things got a little messy in the comments. Oh, I see what's going on now.
Oh man, but that was, I like that. I was like that. So I'm gonna so this next topic, right? I'm definitely stealing, and the shout out to my sister and her brother and my brother-in-law, her husband. They came. They just went on a beautiful, beautiful vacation. And they came back, and apparently they had a great conversation or a great question of like or subject. So well, not everybody, but America migrated from England, right? And then of course we had the Native Americans, right? England had a British accent. How did we as Americans obtain our accent? If throughout the years, right, throughout the decades or centuries, right, how has it evolutionized or evolved, right, from the British accent? A lot of people, Americans, don't have it. We actually have our own. So you think of the New Englander accent. If you say Boston, you can hear that accent. You say New York, you can hear that accent. If you say even I can hear a Philly accent. You down south, a Florida accent sounds different from a Georgia accent. If you say Bama, you know what I mean? You already hear those accents and those draws. So how did those come to fruition? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you think those?
Oh yeah.
And I have a couple ideas, but I definitely want people in the comments to
I
hype
think
on this, or even the originators of this conversation.
What people
Definitely.
don't know is, it took a really long time for us to have like an education system in this country. All of these dialects obviously derive from the British accent.
Okay.
And if you live down south, where obviously things are slower,
Yes, that's one of the things I had in
that
mind.
British accent turned into more drawl, and the dumber you are, the
But you think about
started
it.
coming out more like that. That's what it is.
So how do you? Okay, so you think about that, right? And you go down south, they definitely say that we speak fast, and I can even hear it in myself. Like even now, I'm like, damn, I'm probably speaking fast. But you go down south, they have that slower drawl, maybe due to heat and things like that. But you would think that like everybody was supposed to be smart and from British, so they just kind of spread.
Yeah, no,
What
not at all.
like when they crossed the Mason-Dixon line, was it like the heat and it just like
Well,
made them slow
so
and just
Rob,
dirt?
think about
or
what you're
like-
saying. Typically, people who are migrants
Yep.
are not people who are super well educated. Because if you were, you'd stay where you are and apply your skills in education. So generally, people who are moving into new areas are people who are not necessarily scholars as much as maybe they're worker bees.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And so again, you sort of settle into an area. Think about like West Virginia, a bunch of coal miners, bunch of dudes living on this
Short-term slang and yeah, okay.
There's that, you don't even want to talk. You're like, you want to drink that?
Yeah,
That's
gotcha.
it. It just turns into bleeps and bloops.
Okay, that makes sense. In the comments, I see they're going crazy. Somebody said it took them longer to think. It changes depending on the levels of salt in the water and how close you are to the equator. Says Jared, when the founding fathers wrote the Constitution, they didn't think the average person would be literate.
Facts.
Hey, Devonna said go to timeout. But yeah, like I think Sketchy says accents were born when speakers of the same language became isolated and through evolution unwittingly agree on new names or punctuations for words. Huh.
I can't get over zebra and zebra.
Zebra.
I mean, we're probably the only idiots on the planet that call them zebras.
Like how and we're so entitled that we probably don't see ourselves as foolish because we feel like everybody else is wrong, but we go to other countries and we just slaughter.
Oh, because we're stupid. We're stupid, ignorant, and that's why our language is so it's as bad as it. Why is Devonna all over me again tonight? Very anti-me. What did I do?
Number one fan, Joe. Number one fan.
She wants me in timeout. I thought I was killing it with some of this stuff tonight.
At least you didn't take your black card again. Oh man, so yeah, that's interesting. Like I feel like because even then, like it's just different. Like when you even think of like Minnesota, like how do you Minnesota? Like that was weird, but Minnesota, like how do you get that?
Pretty good.
Thank you. I get that from Bobby. No, from Bobby watching Bob. You remember Bobby, the mom, Bobby, or that was horrible. Now that I actually tried, but
yeah,
Minnesota. But yeah, like all those accents, and then I don't know. That's weird. That was a good comment. That was a good interesting conversation that was had earlier, and I was like, I definitely have to kind of bring this up.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
it.
interesting.
It's-
I might have made up some of what I said, but
But
I
it sounds
stand
good
by
because
it.
even then I was thinking either it probably factored either like weather, and to be serious, like this is my kind of theory, like weather, just southern, and you're just slower, everything just kind of draws, and then you, like you said, you the hoodickie, you know what I mean, instead of the ho, it's a hoodickie, and it just goes on.
Oh yeah,
And then of course, then you get cultural things, and then you think of like the heavy Italian or Irish accents, especially like in Boston and stuff like that, the migration and just how that just sticks. And then even like the Italians in New York and all that. Yeah, so like I can see how that gets very exaggerated and over, like how they're the Italian kind of hey you, how it just because they're already you don't know. I call that bullshit because when I was in Italy, like Southern Italians, they're not fucking, they're not they're like mellow and
Yeah.
fucking hey, you're like mad chill. So I don't know. I don't know where they get all that extra fucking energy from.
Did I say it takes longer to think that's why did I really say
I
that?
think so. I think so.
I don't think
know
I-
snitch.
I don't
but-
think I was explaining that well enough. I didn't mean it quite like that. I mean, I didn't mean it like
You
that.
should know. Yeah.
I see it in the comments now, and I like, oh, I guess I might have said it like that. That's not quite what I meant. I just mean like it's a slower way of life. Yeah, I did imply it. It's a slower way of life. It's just slower.
Okay. What's your favorite accent?
What's my favorite accent?
Worldwide, it doesn't have to be necessarily like regional to the United
Well,
States.
first of all, I don't understand British people.
Okay.
I have a really hard time when they're talking. I get about 50% of it.
Okay.
Very confusing to me. My favorite accent, it would be Australian.
Australian.
Yeah, there's something about that.
Hey, mate.
Yeah.
I find it fairly interesting.
And
Yeah.
really more the
Well-
dudes than the ladies. I hate to say it.
Okay. See, I like a woman's British accent. I don't know why. So there's an artist, Mahalia, and she says "can't." The way she says "can't," I'm just like
I
in her
can't
song,
do it.
she's like, yeah, you know, but I can't forgive. And I'm like, oh my God, I just want to melt in your arms. I don't know. It's just so like my Siri is British. Everything's British on my, and even LMA, oh my God, her accent, and it's a British accent. And I'm just like, oh, my significant other better hope we don't ever break up because I'm going to England now that I can actually afford to. So yeah, and I'm
I'd
gonna
like
go
a
find
nice Scottish girl.
me. Ooh.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah, I be watching 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
I be watching 90 Day Fiance, and like some of these women that be coming from like Russia and like all these other, I'm like, oh my God. I would just like, can you please not talk? Like, just sit there, do whatever, do your wifely duties as my wife, as my partner, but just don't talk. Your accent's annoying as fuck. I couldn't do it. Oh yeah. So I've been on this kick recently. And we were talking earlier, kind of like our YouTube board, well, not bored at night, but you know, things to find to watch because there's really nothing outside of the Olympics and other things to watch on TV, right? But what was I saying?
Things to watch.
Yeah, so things to watch. So I started going on YouTube, especially now since we've been talking about like the Earth and like evolution and space and all that other stuff. Like my thing recently has been going on Google Maps or Google Earth and just zooming in on like the open water, all the open water and all the oceans, and then seeing if I can find islands. There's a lot of just islands just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I came across this one island called Point Nemo Island, right? So Point Nemo Island is this island, 1,000 miles. Yeah, let me actually get the coordinates for you guys. So Point Nemo Island is a remote location off the Dulce Islands, which if you look, here we go. Where's my little thing? The remote oceanic location, coordinates of about 2,600 kilometers from the nearest land, Dulce Islands, part of the Pitcairn Islands, to north of another islands, part of Antarctica. So the small little island, literally, if you look, it's to the left of Chile, in between Chile and New Zealand, more towards the Chilean side. But anyways, so this island is super remote. Nobody can actually be there. But the cool thing about this island is like in history, this island has like had, I guess, secret things that have happened, right? So like oceanic explorers and stuff have heard like mysterious oceanic sounds from this location pinging, and there used to be a thought that there was this big sea monster, and like apparently there was this big hole
Yeah.
in the ocean that goes super super deep around there, but nobody's explored it, of course, and all this other stuff. But outside of that, I was just like, holy shit, this is interesting. Like now finding places that like I would be interested in trying to explore if I had those resources. Like it would be interesting to like to see if you can get out there. So now I look at these things and of course go to YouTube and see if some people are like have been there or whatever. But come to find out, I came on like one video. It was like the most places like people live. So there's a place in Alaska where like all the people, the whole population lives in this big ass tall building. It looks like a residential, like maybe a project building. All 200 and something residents literally just live there.
Really?
Remote area, just right there. Another area.
That's weird.
Another island somewhere, like towards Antarctica and all that. Well, it be pretty much between the bottom of South America, so like Brazil and like Africa. Little set of islands, and you can get there, but you got to take like 3 boats, and it takes 3 weeks to get there.
Wow.
But literally they're on this edge of a volcano, and in the 1970s, the volcano erupted and literally like stopped just shy of their village. And so like, yeah, you still go there, and there's a Navy base there as well now. So I was like, that's interesting to see like all the different like islands that like people are actually there living.
I wonder how many of those islands are volcanoes, or
A lot of them are
by volcanoes, and thus, are tapped right into the Earth's core.
So who knows? I don't know. Once again, I don't know if it's to the core, but it started having me think, right? So all those islands are there. At some point, I'm sure the water level was a lot lower. I would assume there were probably, I don't know, there was land and probably whatever out there, right? And then even so, then listen to all those videos. I really like one of the videos said like 95% of the water on Earth hasn't even been explored, which is crazy. So how can we see thousands and billions of light years away, but we haven't explored we can't explore 95% of what's on our Earth?
Well, because a telescope looks out into space,
Yep.
and getting underwater is hard because obviously, number one, light is problematic in water. Water pressure makes it so that even Richard Branson's douche ass can only get a submarine to go only so far before it implodes. Hopefully, with him in it,
We can send so many people to space and all these other things. We haven't been able to figure something to go.
Yeah, it's weird. The more we go under our own Earth and into the depths of our own ocean, it's actually harder and less cost effective to search water than it is to search in outer space.
That's crazy. So
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you honestly, I remember when I was younger, I heard a similar stat to what you said, that most of our oceans and water has not been explored. We don't know what's in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. And I would assume, I think I told you this, maybe I said this an episode or two ago, they found Sodom and Gomorrah from the Bible.
Oh yeah.
Literally in the underneath the Dead Sea. And that whole story was because there was a literally a volcano explosion there, and the fire and brimstone was coming out of the volcano, and then a tsunami absolutely just floored everything. And that's the real story of what happened.
It wasn't God.
No, nobody made that happen. And it's funny, like people always doubted this story about sulfur. Like there was a lot of the fire and brimstone. We were like, that sounds like some shit God would do.
Yeah. No,
but it's also a thing volcanoes do. They spit fire and brimstone. And so that's a
more realistic.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? That's an earthly explanation of a bullshit story about God. And it's the funny thing is I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it has been several thousand years since God just annihilated a city. just on a whim. He doesn't do it anymore. He stopped doing that a long time ago.
I was
It's
about
weird.
to say, when was the last time? Well, unless they call, I'm sure maybe if they get a hold of the revisions of the book, COVID will be the next. And maybe 100 years, COVID will be the next godly plague. I'm sorry. I'm looking in the comments. Jared said I'm talking to a Yankee penis. And then I looked in the video, and it looks like I'm talking. It looked like I was talking to a Yankee
But to be
penis.
fair, that is Derek Jeter's Yankee penis.
I don't want to be talking to anybody's penis.
The MV penis, literally.
Nothing wrong with anybody that wants to talk to somebody's penis, but I would rather not. I have a hard enough time talking to my penis. So, like, why would I want to be talking to Derek Jeter's penis? So, anyways, hey, Derek. As you guys can see, we have Derek Jeter in the building. And I don't know. It just keeps getting worse.
Do you want him to
there
stand,
we go.
Do you want him to
Hey.
stand behind you?
I don't know. I'm still either way. This is awkward now. Who
That'd
knows?
be
But
hilarious.
anyways, but yeah. So hopefully, one day we might be able to get, like, instead of funding people to go, like, I want to fund a big ass. Like, we can't even get a big ass ship. We got all these ships that can go, like, carry thousands and thousands of fucking containers, but we can't get a ship and an air carrier to, like, fuel up and, like, just go. See what the hell's out there?
You want to hear a great story? I'll tell you, and this is, if you want to know what part of the problem is. So they find Sodom and Gomorrah. They have a submarine. They're like, we're going to go down and explore it. Well, first of all, as anyone anything about salt water or the Dead Sea and how
it's very buoyancy.
It's really hard as fuck to go down because the salt wants to push you right back up. So not only does your submarine have to weigh a ton, you have to also load it to make it sink. So that was problem number one. Problem number two, guess where Sodom and Gomorrah is? It's a little bit on Israel on Israel's side. It's a little bit in Jordan. So you got to go to those governments and you're like, hey, listen, we're working with the Israeli government, and they're like, fuck off, you're not doing it. All right.
And there's that.
And so, dude, I mean, literally, this could have been one of the great finds of all time, and they really haven't been able to they haven't really been able to document it well enough to really show, like, the world, like, hey, we found this city. This is the real story, because literally these two governments won't let them go out with a submarine and go in the water because it's a very militarized zone. Gotcha. There's soldiers on both sides waiting to go after each other.
But even if it wasn't that, like, there's so much more to the earth apparently to, like, go explore. And I look at it, and you know what I mean? Like, even when I look at the globe, right, and you take the United States, you can put like 5 of these in one of these oceans, and I'm like, it takes me 6 hours to go from here to here. So, like, let's get some ships and start exploring some shit. Like,
how would you like to interview the flat Earth guy?
I would love to.
I'm like the flat Earth guy.
So many questions.
I tell you, he's got a lot of answers.
Let's do it.
And the more you hear the guy talk, you're like, oh, all right, good point. And then you're like, wait a minute. Airplanes. Explain that shit. And that's where it starts to get. That's where and you're like, all right, let's get out of here with that shit.
I definitely want to. I've never, like, I've listened to it on YouTube, but yeah, I've never really talked to a flat earther. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, most of the people who are flat earthers, like B.O.B. and Kyrie Irving, are fucking morons. And so you hear them say it, and you're like, oh, what a fucking cuckoo.
But then you hear somebody who actually likes
Listen to somebody who knows what they're talking about and really explains it. I swear to God, you'll be like, well, I don't know, man. I could go either way. But he also has a hard time explaining satellites in outer space. His whole thing was like, outer space isn't real. It's the fuck out of here. Sorry, dude. Listen, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what your conspiracy is. If your conspiracy includes, like, entire agencies of the federal government, not buying it. Not buying it.
I hear you.
Your conspiracy. This is why I always told the Trump people, I was like, dude, you think that China and Russia, some elements of the Republican Party and the Democrats all conspired together to lose the election to Trump.
You crazy.
What a fucking interesting story.
That's the worst plan ever. That's
I
worse
don't
than
know.
the Dr. Evil plan.
Why would they have done that? Like, hey, let's get together and figure out how to come in second. That doesn't make sense.
They have a bigger plan. Maybe you got to lose to win the battle to win the war.
Your conspiracy has to make practical sense, doesn't it? Like at its
Fair
core.
Fair enough.
I always felt like that doesn't make any sense. If she cheated, she probably would have made sure she won.
Facts.
Instead
of just getting back. Yeah, I got you.
I don't know. That's I'm telling you, people get a little carried away with that shit. When you can't dismiss things completely too. Like I said, I mean, he's like outer space. Nah, it's bullshit. Well, I've seen it. So tell me what that is then. Because he believes in the firmament from the Bible. You know what that is?
No. Teach me.
That's where, so like these idiots think, like, no shit, like the stars in the sky.
Yeah.
You know, the little dots.
Yeah.
That's how big they are. They're little dots.
I used to think
they're little dots like 100 miles away.
When I was younger, I used to think that Earth wasn't really there was a capsule and they ran everything. But when you really when you start taking road trips and you really start traveling, you're just like, yeah, nah, this is fucking far. Like when you take a 16-hour flight to a whole different country, and you're like,
oh yeah,
God, it puts it in a whole different perspective.
Here's a few things that I would guarantee that you'll find, and if we were to talk to the people in the comments, the people in the room, that most people here don't have the slightest idea about how big is the sun.
I don't know. I can tell you it's big as fuck,
right?
Apparently. But apparently there's other stars that are bigger than that.
True that.
Which surprises me because I'm like, if there's other stars that are bigger, but of course they probably aren't emitting the same kind of heat or whatever, but aren't stars.
It's about the road. It's about the rotation of the planet.
Okay.
And it's about so the rotation and the what's the other word when it goes around?
Evolution.
What are you saying? Yeah, the way it yeah, because it's spinning, but it's also orbiting, so it's like a twofold effect there.
Jared says if that were true, as powerful as that dot would have to be, can you imagine that the energy? The theory is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like my biggest thing with conspiracy theory people is that most of whatever doesn't fit the narrative, they're like, throw it out. You're like, no, man, you can't do that. Yeah, so the right
says the radius of the sun is 432,000, 690,000 miles. Damn.
That's massive.
That's fucking huge.
But people don't understand, right? Does anybody know the distance from the Earth to the sun?
Light year, not light years, but a billion.
Does anybody know it? It's 330,000 miles.
And when you say it like that, that doesn't seem far as fuck. That doesn't seem that far.
330,000 miles.
But apparently it would take 3 months to get to Mars. Or how long does it take to get to Mars? It's like 3 months.
Yeah, well, Mars is far. Well, you got to go. You got to really get out there.
But
again,
but the sun is further though.
People can't comprehend the massiveness of the universe. And again, you only have to look at about 500,000 miles around is just the sun, and there's nothing close to it. There's nothing within 330,000 miles of it. Yeah. And it emits that kind of power. But again, you took science class, you learned this in third grade, and you don't fucking remember any of this. None of you,
too busy passing notes.
None of you reads this shit or watches this stuff. Nope. I do late at night because I'm
starting to though. I'm starting,
and I'm glad that you are. I'm telling you, dude. There's so much crazy. It's fascinating to understand and read this stuff. Do you guys know that the moon was created from the Earth?
Nope.
They got to the moon and they were like, "Man, it's the same shit as down on Earth. That's crazy." And it's like, well, yeah. The Earth was liquefying, and as there were explosions stuff, a big dust cloud gathered, and it started to literally circulate the Earth. The moon is made from the Earth.
Okay. I'll go with it. I think when it just goes to those, I'm just like, how do we know
Moon
this?
rock is made up of the same stuff as Earth rock.
Okay.
It's all the same. It literally came off the Earth, it balled up after, because again, it big gaseous cloud, and then eventually it starts to solidify and gets hot, and it becomes like a giant ball, and it starts to spin out.
I guess in my mind is like, shouldn't there be a bunch of moons?
No.
I mean, you've had the big Japanese cloud.
So again,
from the Hiroshima
when
bombs and all
there
this.
were actually multiple pieces of this moon.
Okay.
It was up in the. It still wasn't quite all in its present shape, and almost think of like an asteroid field.
Gotcha.
But once it got caught up in this orbit around the Earth,
gotcha.
it just kept, and it was spinning, and that's why it's a perfectly round looking ball. Although I guess they're a little more oblong because of the spin and whatever, but that's the reason they're shaped that way. The cylinder shape, it's just from the spin. It really, I mean, again, it's fascinating, and we should be exploring outer space. I've talked about the Event Horizon. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, there's a lot of shit that we can observe now through the Hubble and through the giant telescope. Some of the planets you were talking about earlier, but there's bigger stars than, I told you there was, I watched two black holes converge together and then suck a planet in. It was amazing. Wow. Most of that stuff, because here's the other thing people don't know. The universe, not only is everything orbiting and rotating, but the entire solar system is literally throttling through space at like 50,000 miles an hour. Did you know that? It's all moving.
I would assume so.
So
like,
nothing's where it's supposed to be. And the thing they found from Einstein to more recently was he was wrong at how fast everything's moving. It's going 6 times faster than we thought, which is potentially a problem. So I mentioned this before, but we're on a collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy.
Okay. So how
eventually we're going to collide and it's all going to be over.
So Mike, how long do we have?
We have, so again, there's the possibility
we're moving this fast, right?
There's a possibility 1.5 billion years. Which I know you're like, that's a long time. It's not, because I mean we've already been here for 4.5 billion years.
That's a long ass time.
It is, but it's not, because I mean it happens much faster than you think. Somewhere between 1.5 billion and 4.5 billion. In about 4.5 billion years, if we haven't already collided with the Andromeda Galaxy and been annihilated, or if we were somehow able to take them in and still survive, in about 4.5 billion years, the sun will run out of hydrogen. It'll turn into a giant red star,
and then
it'll blow up so big it'll take out Mercury and I think Venus. And then shit'll hit the fan. The Earth will be a blazing hot, boiling mess. All of the water will have boiled off the planet. And well, you could imagine that day's gonna suck. Hopefully you bought a thermos.
Jesus, I don't want to be there for that. Yeah. So I'm looking up just real quick the Andromeda Galaxy, because I'm pretty sure we just geeked out these people. But like, to me,
they're loving it.
Okay. So then, like, there's a whole nother galaxy. We cannot be the only life. Whether it's our animals, there's other species, there's something. We talked about the octopus.
Did you see they're looking right now? There's a satellite or an orbiter looking at one of Jupiter's moons, I think it is, Eurasia or whatever the name of the moon is. The moon seems to have the planet's got ocean. The moon's got ocean on it. And it's frozen, and underneath it, they think that there might be life underneath that ocean.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even when you think about like our molecules, our makeup, our DNA, our shit like that, our atoms, and this is our energy. Like, we're just a little piece to the bigger. So there has to be something. It might not be in our 10 fingers, 10 toes. It might have 2 elbows and a big ass nose. Who knows? whatever, but there's something out there. And I don't know. I would like to at least be alive when something happens. Not like bad, but then, yeah. But my last question for that would be like, well, I guess we just ended it. When do you think outside of that 1.5 billion years, when do you think the end of the Earth is coming?
If you're asking,
how long do you think the Earth will
ask
last?
me when humanity's gonna end?
When?
If that's your question,
there we go.
I would say within 5,000 years there won't be any humans on the planet.
What do you think is going to be the biggest cause? Like natural,
us.
Or is it going to us?
Yeah. Remember we were talking, and I told you the two biggest threats to lions humans and other lions. The number one threat to human beings, number one threat, the biggest killer of humans every year. It's not mosquitoes. It isn't sharks. It's not lions. It's humans. And we're going to annihilate ourselves. And yeah, there'll be a point in time where, and again, dude, this planet will just chew us up and spit us out, which will be great because think about how amazing, and hopefully everything that we've destroyed and built will just get grown over in time.
It will. I think so.
And the animals can just go back to like running around, and just doing their thing and not fucking stuff up and trying to build shit. Like, I mean, everything that we've done is, first of all, if there was a God, I don't think he would like the way things have shaken out here. I don't think the point was to ultimately, right? I mean, and we've talked about this, but within 10,000 years of humanity living together, we've got everybody locked into like one of three shifts, right? During the day to work.
Yeah.
Right? You're either the morning guy, you're that, or you're that's it. Is that real? That's what we're here for? Work 8-hour fucking shifts
that's
to make more shit nobody needs.
That's what we've been accustomed to, though. That's what it is. That's unfortunately that's what we've been bred into. And I don't think unless something apocalyptic, and I honestly foresee something maybe in the next 50 years because we might have a couple hundred years of apocalyptic living. It might not be what the movie theaters and everything else goes by, right? Because even then, like, a lot of things are just coming into fruition now. It might not be exactly how we predicted, like tech, right? We're tracked every day. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to be tracked, but you have a cell phone, you're tracked everywhere, right? Digital is taking over these things that we've seen. It might not be the Jetsons, but we're getting there, right? So something apocalyptic is going to happen. It might, you know what I mean? But I think that from there, that's going to be the interesting part. Just see how everything goes from there when you don't have currency, when you don't have the money or the economy, you don't have the government structure. Not to say nobody's working, because then now working becomes a whole different, thing at that point, survival. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Sketchy says, let's see here. In 3.7 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies will collide. That's gonna be interesting. Imagine if it's a whole party and we're all just like, oh shit.
Sketchy, I don't know where you might have found this information about the hunter-gatherers working a 20-hour work week, but I'm going to go along with that because that kind of fits the narrative of what I'm working on here, is that we've screwed it up. And I mean, really, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this to me, in the grand scheme of things, like, if there's another planet somewhere, Rob, with aliens on it, I like to think that they're not like, slave. You know what I mean? Like, we got to work on 10-hour shifts, but you know what I mean? Like, dude, come the fuck on.
There's got to be something better.
I like to think aliens would show up and be like, what have you people done?
Who built this system?
What were you guys thinking? Why would you time shit? Again, and you know what? One of the things I love about these animal videos, I watch these great documentaries on like the Serengeti in Africa. They live every day, right?
They live and survive because they don't have to pay bills. They don't have to pay somebody to live.
Every day is wake up, get something to eat, and don't die. They don't keep a clock. You take a nap, whatever.
Yeah,
it's great.
But then
that's what this is supposed to be.
But then people started making things and started wanting to be compensated for things, and people And then here we go to capitalism.
Think about this.
America.
If we were meant to keep time and dates,
It's a system.
wouldn't the system be accurate though?
We won't have to restructure
Right?
it all
Like
the time.
a minute's not even really 60 seconds. Like that's just sort of horseshit. It doesn't, it's close. A year's 365, a quarter day. Every year, like we like lose a second or some shit. Like the moon's getting a little like, come
It's a
on,
structure,
there's a lot of
it's a-
shit going on there, and we're slaves to time, and we're slaves to the clock, and we're literally counting down the day till you die.
So there's the thing of what's one thing that you can never get back?
Time.
Bullshit. You put the fucking clock. You never have to worry about your time again.
Yes.
Right? The fucking time. I mean, you don't know. In reality, there's not a time clock that says, hey, I'm going to live. I have a clock down and I know it. You don't know. So the only person that's pressing time are those following the fucking clock. If I'm not following the clock, I don't worry about it. You look at these fucking millionaires and billionaires that literally have the money to, they're not rushing.
How many
They're not
times a
fucking-
day do you look to see what time it is?
A couple times a day. Quite a few.
At least.
A lot.
At
For
least
no-
a couple
no-
times
yeah.
a day. Like, what time is it? What
Sometimes
is
it's got to
it?
be somewhere. Got to be literally
Right?
wake up and structure my day.
That's
to
how
the
we
time.
live. That's not right. That's not how this is supposed to be.
Using my time to make money, trading my time for currency to be able to sustain to live because I requested to be here. Like I could see if I was like, hey, I need to be out in the world, and my ticket got pulled, and they're like, all right, yep, your request to go to the world is here. No,
I like to think if there is some sort of alien species that they're out there, and like there's like they take turns going to work.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's like a system, or they've enslaved another planet to do all their work. They're sharing the resources. Everybody's living the good life. They don't keep time. They don't have a clock. If you want something, you just get it.
Are we the immigrants to other species out there? You know how like Americans think that we're just the number one to the world.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, if we ever meet intelligent life elsewhere, they're gonna be like, "Who did this shit?" And everyone's gonna point to the United States. They're like, "You guys fucked this up."
We're so screwed. I feel like we're the bottom of the totem pole if it comes to other species. That's why I really feel like there's other things out there, and we're just not smart enough to catch them.
And
Like
think about,
we'll see it, but we just can't catch
think
them.
about where we are as humans.
We're still dumb
We're off the food chain.
because we have firearms. If it wasn't for firearms,
Absolutely.
we'd be dumb.
You're exactly right. So, what happens when we eventually kill each other and we wipe humanity off the planet completely? What happens to the planet?
Fucking lions start picking up Uzis.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, if my prediction's right and we're gone in like 50 years, and there's nothing left. What I say, 500?
yeah.
5,000? Well, whatever.
I'm with you with the 50.
Let's go 50, 500, or 5,000.
We'll be on the porch as the old dudes fucking.
Can you imagine like some alien spaceship would fly over this planet in this humanless future and just see
Are
these
we the ghetto?
beautiful monsters just like running all over, like the beautiful plains of Africa and the antelope running? And they'd be like, you know what? Let's not even stop here. This place is perfect. this perfect, like Eden on Earth sort of place. They wouldn't even want to land here. They wouldn't even want to disrupt it. And what they won't have known was that humans were around for a while, and then the planet spit them up and shit them out.
So we are the cancer to Earth.
We're the worst thing that
We are
ever
what
happened to
happened to
this
Earth.
planet. And again, it's not our fault, but and this is how stupid we are. As soon as humans started domesticating animals, we started getting sick. They didn't know to keep crops and animals away from the food.
Okay.
And we didn't understand like germ theory and how that whole thing worked.
Gotcha.
And so the way we set this all up, we literally set ourselves to have weaker immune systems and to up our chances of being poisoned. Yeah. Real stupid.
Real stupid humans.
Yeah.
Stupid. Well, since we're talking about stupid humans, I feel like not necessarily stupid human, but did you know that there's a town in Pennsylvania that is literally on fire underground? Because we're talking about Earth and like the world.
Every city is on fire underground if you go deep enough.
If you go deep enough, but surface layer, well, subsurface layer. So
if it's that immediate level down, that's a real problem, and apparently that's what's happening in Central PA.
Centralia. So, but it's been going on for some years. Like, let me pull it up.
What is going on there?
Oh, apparently back from like the fires, like the miners and shit like that. Let's see here. Burning beneath. Okay, here we go. A result of a coal mine fire, which has been burning beneath the borough since 1962. So it's a borough in the ghost town in Columbia County, Pennsylvania, United States. Its population has dwindled down. I think it's like less than 5 people, and that was in 2017 as a result of a coal mine fire, which has begun burning beneath since 1962. Centralia, which is part of the Bloomsburg-Berwick metropolitan area, is the least populated municipality in Pennsylvania. So pretty much all real estate in the borough was claimed under eminent domain in 92 and condemned by the Commonwealth of PA and discontinued postal service. So pretty much nobody lives there. There's no there's buildings there. It's super secluded. You can't, if I'm not mistaken, you can't even get into the town. So like the roads, if you start like to see the roads, they're literally like broken up, heated up. They have like hot spots that dip. People like have like lost their lives and like their vehicles from like the ground falling and sinking underneath them and shit like this, trying to go out there. So yeah,
that's insane. So the people that those 5 remaining citizens in town won the right to live there in a 23rd. They don't own the properties, but they legally can live there.
Why would you want to?
Why would you want to is such a great question. I really don't understand.
And then apparently this fire spreads as a radius of like 75 miles or whatever. Not miles, it might be like 75 feet a year. So it's all underground. So like eventually like PA is just gonna like all go underground. And then like that was another thing. We're on the United States, right? If you think of it, we're a big ass island from top of fucking Alaska to the bottom of South America. The America's a big ass island. What's under us? Is it water? We're obviously not floating, so we're connected to what? You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like if you go deep, like if you go to Miami, we'll say Miami, right?
Yeah.
Just go down. It's of course there's the ocean floor and shit like that, but it's just fucking weird. Like fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's like we're just this big ass elevation mountain. If like it was a fucking drain, we would just be a big. So it would, like we would be Mount Everest.
There's plates and there's the tectonic plates, and then there's that top level. That's all. It's just that it's sitting on top of all that other shit.
But
by the way,
this town
fire
burning up
covers 6 square miles and it spreads 75 feet per year.
There we go. Yep, 75 feet.
And because coal is made out of carbon, as long as there's heat and oxygen, this fire will burn forever.
And then apparently like the fumes and shit that it emits, if you like breathe it in, because like it gets so bad, you can definitely suffer. So I found that out watching one of my good old YouTube binges, and I was like, holy shit, we have a city that's on fire, or a town and a state.
Dude, isn't it so funny? Like you probably saw the headline for that, like, check out the city in America that's been on fire since 1962, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
And then you watch it and you're like, oh my God, there's a fucking town that's been on fire.
And it makes me want to go, like, I want to go explore it. Like, that's why you shouldn't have those kind of videos too.
Oh God, yeah.
Like I would definitely be like, yeah, let's go get an ATV or something.
I'm super interested now in going to Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Camera crew, y'all ready? Is that a move? Hey, I'm with it. All right, to the Olympics. Since we can't go to Centralia, which sounds like Olympic-y kind of.
Can't go to the Olympics.
Since we go to Olympics, we can't go to Centralia.
No fans.
We'll talk about the Olympics. As I've been watching the Olympics, I've come to like start thinking: is the U.S. really as dominant as we once were? Like we think about the Olympics from like even when I was a kid, it was just it seemed like USA was just kicking ass and everything, from the dream team to even even the battle between us and Russia and hockey. Like it was, on and off, whatever the case may be. But now I'm watching the Olympics, and I'm glad that like other countries are just dominating shit. You see the 13-year-old that won in skateboarding, street skateboarding from Japan, I believe, which was dope to see. But then I was watching the triathlon. Fucking Great Britain, they have some amazing cyclists. Like they know how to fucking bike their ass off. But I was watching triathlons and earlier, which was cool to watch. But yeah, it's like America's really not that dominant anymore, and it's sad to say, because of course we want America to win.
Yeah.
But then you're just like, I'm glad that there's more competition and it's not just.
You ever teach Donnie a game?
Yep.
And you kick his ass a whole bunch of times and he gets good at it and then he beats you.
He hasn't beat me yet, but yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah,
I'm worried to that day.
He will eventually.
Yep.
This is what the Olympics is. We taught the world how to play some sports. And they were like, oh, that looks interesting. We'll have to try it. And we haven't gotten any better at any of it. We were just like, we knew how to do it. No one else did.
Yep.
And once they figured it out, and unfortunately for us, they learned the fundamental parts of these sports. They had to start with the fundamentals, and we've given up on fundamentals.
Of course.
So we're fat and lazy
and
in this country.
You know.
Yeah. And so
all about the money.
That's why we're getting our asses handed to us, not only in all the sports, but the sports that we taught the other countries how to play.
Facts.
The actual American sports.
And I was gonna say there's probably, when you look, and we can't even say all 5 of these are American sports, right? But when we think of American sports, we think baseball, basketball, football.
Yep.
When we say football, we're not talking about soccer, or hockey, right? Because hockey was not American, and I would say that hockey is probably one of the sports that we're very good at, we're dominant in. But there's other countries like Russia and I want to say one other, Canada, Russia and Canada are way more superior at hockey than we are, right? Soccer, we can definitely say that there's way better soccer athletes outside of America. Shit, we had to get David Beckham to come play in the United States League for a while just to boost that, right? But outside of that, but you look at, I don't see anybody ever really, I don't see anybody ever really getting good, another country really getting good at Americanized football. That's just a whole nother beast. I don't foresee any like that. That's
well, I mean, I think,
outside of rugby, but even with rugby,
you could argue, dude, there's not even 32 good teams in America, let alone, I mean,
true.
Right, there's not a lot,
but that's a different standard, though.
Well, it's but my point is to play professional football at the highest level, and to know there's really only the one league to play in. Canada has a league, and I don't think anyone, right? It's a little bit different. It's really that one league, and so right. I mean, how many good left tackles are there? How many great quarterbacks are there?
In America,
the chances of they're like, oh, there's probably some great young quarterbacks in Japan. We just haven't looked there yet, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's they don't play it, they don't know the sport. It's and again, really. Here's the other thing too. You look at some of these quarterbacks. I mean, you look at these young guys; they've been doing it their whole lives.
Exactly.
A lot of the times, right? Maybe your dad was a quarterback or whatever have you, and that's how you get where you get. So, and I think that's very true of most sports. And this is why I don't like the Olympics.
Okay.
This is a competition of the elitist, wealthy, upper class people of every single country in the world.
We can't say wealthy upper class, because we've definitely had some people that
just anybody that's in the horse riding sports off the bat. I'm going to say you're not doing that shit. I'm not doing that shit.
Equestrian shit is expensive.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so that's what I'm talking about.
I get what you're saying.
Right, again, the idea that I mean, Rob, right? I mean, who gets to be really good at different sports, right? I mean, generally speaking, like if you're an AAU kid basketball, or if you play like pop order football, like I mean, let's be honest, we see it all the time. But someone is illegally paying the star player's way.
Gotcha.
Because that kind of talent has great value. And it's a shame, but
That's
it's so rare to find a guy that can run a 4.2 40 who's also athletic enough to get hit by another guy, and that he could handle that 35 times a game, get hit like that. That's a rare dude. There's not a lot of guys on this planet. And again, I don't think that you're going to go to like North Korea and find a handful of those dudes.
And you're not going to find those guys that are built to do that.
Right.
Like
you can barely find them here where there's a big emphasis on doing it. And like, you look at how many guys get to the NFL and they're like, you're not even close to being good enough. So there does take a certain, somebody has to pay the finances if you're going to go pro.
Gotcha.
If you're 16 and you're from the Dominican Republic, it's a Major League Baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they
baseball,
basically,
we don't even dominate baseball.
Well, and there you go. Again, it's another one of those sports that we taught people how to play. They play the fundamental version of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in basketball. They do it in baseball. And we don't play that way, even though that's what our sport that we created is. And these other teams go in there and they put the work in because Americans are lazy. As you said, I think you said the word flashy before.
Yeah.
You know, it's about
and
making
overpaid.
Yeah, it's about making the highlight reels, and it's less about playing. We don't push team in this country at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because teammates don't like each other anymore. I think Kobe and Shaq sort of gave kids that, like, you don't have to be friends with your teammates, still win shit. It's like, well, so you're talking about two fucking Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Talking about one of the largest human beings ever to play a sport, and a guy who's, you know, one of the top three basketball players all the time. That's why it worked. The only reason it worked. Wouldn't have worked otherwise. You know? And again, not for nothing, but you talk about the dream team. I mean, you could argue that was the greatest assembled basketball team ever.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys would beat anybody ever,
but
anywhere.
Who did they have to really play to that same caliber, especially at that time?
But they used to beat teams by like 80 points.
I know. Yeah, because you're beating countries that are
right,
just getting into
just gotten basketballs a few weeks
literally
early.
Just got the rule book a couple months ago, and like I get it. I get that aspect. It's so,
again, look, it's unfair to the USA basketball players now. People are like, oh, these guys suck. But again, on the one hand, though, they don't play good fundamentals.
True.
They don't play defense.
Very true. Because it's a fun game. It's like an all-star game to them.
Yes. And listen,
or they feel like they can. They're America.
If you're like the team from Croatia, like, you know, you're not going to like run and gun with Team USA, right? You're going to like tighten up the defense. You're going to make them play your game if you can. Yep. No transition and whatnot. And obviously Larry Bird and Magic and Jordan, they would have never let that happen. But these guys nowadays, they don't play defense. And so they're vulnerable in that respect. But again, that comes down to just the basic fundamentals of the sport. We created and asked the world to learn. And they were like, sure, and then we'll kick your ass at it.
Yeah. And then we're back then were the like NBA players. Like, so now, like, you look at Luka Doncic and all these dudes, they're going to the respective countries, and playing. I don't think that was it necessarily back in the day with the Dream Team, where NBA players going. I could be wrong.
I think other than Akeem Olajuwon, I don't know that anybody. I don't know that anybody was even not originally American.
Okay,
you go through everybody on the list. Everybody was just representing. I think the big rep. I don't know if you're how aware you are, but Isaiah Thomas was supposed to be on that team.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, Michael said,
Christian Laettner was on that basketball team, and I've always hated that Christian Laettner was on that team because that could have been so many dudes. That could have been so many dudes that deserved it, and they used Christian Leitner, who was
Mike. We already know
such
that
a
was
piece of
Michael.
shit player.
We already know that was Big Mike.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. What's this? Do you think first and foremost, I didn't realize that 3-on-3 basketball. What do you think about these new sports that are coming up with the Olympics? Because I didn't know pickup 3-on-3 was actually gonna be a sport.
Half court hoops.
Which, by the way,
21,
that's a very athletic pickup 3-on-3 to 21. Like literally, you got a 12-second shot clock, even after a made basket, and you still got to clear your shot. Like you got to clear and shoot. That, oh my God, that shit was just go fast paced. I was like, it looks good. I don't know, but why? That was my question.
Fair enough.
Why?
Listen, for me, the only thing they could have done better was if they would have put wiffle ball in the Olympics.
And now
because
dude, listen, what are the next sports that we want to see?
Rob, listen,
like I want to see lacrosse in the Olympics.
Half court 3-on-3. We could do that.
I don't know if I could. That shit was
3-on-3. Half court.
You got it,
bro. Get me 2 dudes.
There's no check. There's no check ball.
2 guys. I'll win silver. I guarantee it.
There's no check ball. 12-second shot clock.
That's how I play.
Oh, okay. I don't have it in me. I'm the
saw
guy
that, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Checking, holding the ball, making sure everybody's situated, and I'm like, "All right, cool. Yep, now we're good." And I'm probably rolling it, depending on how many games I've played. Oh yeah, I like my 20-second break checking the ball.
Oh God, man, no, I'm all about it. I like to run and gun half court. It's beautiful.
There's no running and gun. Like that's if I wanted to run and gun,
take it back and fire that thing under the bucket to somebody. Let's get that ball in the basket.
So you got to come with us when we do our basketball days in Middletown.
I'd love to.
The guys, invite you out. But yeah, it was interesting to see those. So I'm glad, but I am glad to see that like skating is becoming really big, even though some people have been like throwing it back, like throwing like a big attitude towards it. But it was dope to see like the new the street and the park things. You got the 3-on-3. Just all these different sports that I didn't even realize were actually like sports in the Olympics, which is super dope. But yeah, I want to see lacrosse. I think lacrosse should be actual like because they have world lacrosse games, so that definitely needs to go into the Olympics soon. And I'm gonna be trying like my goal. So my previous Olympic goal was to go to Brazil, but that didn't happen for the Olympics. So now I see that the Olympics in 2028 is gonna be in LA. So I think I'm gonna try and see what's out there. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pay some bills. We'll go with I don't know. Let's show some love to the CMG family. We'll show 3. Pay the bills with 3 videos. Pick a video, any video.
Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Can you believe it?
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years.
Fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. It's over. The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
Tune in to the newest show presented by Clovercrest Media. It's Obie's Backstop Podcast. Catch it twice a week, every Red Sox series finale on your favorite podcast platform.
The Closing Time Podcast is back, sponsored by Rocky Hill Accountants. I'm Joe Aguirre. I'll have a brand new co-host, Sanam Salati, who's my broker, my mentor, and my good friend, and one of the most knowledgeable people in Connecticut in the entire real estate industry. We're going to be talking about the latest goings-on. We'll keep you up to date on the market, and we're going to bring on some really great guests all throughout this season, people in all different fields in the industry like accountants, home inspectors, mortgage reps, and so much more, just to give you a better understanding of the Connecticut real estate market. We're so excited for a brand new season of the Closing Time Podcast, part of the CMG Podcast Network. It's sponsored by Rocky Hill Accountants. Go see Heidi and Glenn Parchman to file your taxes for bookkeeping, business advice, real estate investments, or whatever your accounting needs are, including cryptocurrency. Just visit RockyHillAccountants.com. We'll see you all season long on the Closing Time Podcast. I love wiffle ball. No other way to explain it. Just something about the game, the feel of the grass, smacking that ball all over the field, making plays, diving head first, whatever it takes to get the job done. That's what wiffle ball means to me. Striking out grown men, watching their knees buckle on a called third strike. Sit out, bud. And then, of course, the home runs, the base hits, the big home runs at the big moments. That's a whiff of greatness. Join us all season long for the Joe Aguirre Story, a CMG podcast.
Yeah, baby, we like it like that. Make sure you guys check out all of those amazing podcasts on Clovercrest Media Group at clovercrestmedia.com or wherever you listen to any of your podcasts from, or visually. I know some of those are visuals too, but yeah, Clovercrest Media Group, showing love all day. So this is a topic that like I've been trying to get into for like the past couple episodes. And I just, for some odd reason, like look over it. So I tried to make sure I don't look over it today. So traditional relationship rules, laws, / just traditional relationships, right? First question. Can the opposite sex be best friends? Or can opposite sex, so like can a man and woman be best friends if they're in a relationship, right? So or do you believe that?
Can you be best friends like she's with a dude and you're with your girl? Can you guys be best friends?
Bet, can you have okay, so you believe that there cannot be a best friend of the opposite sex if you're in a or period.
I don't buy it.
You don't?
No.
I buy it because I have a best friend that's a female. So and honestly,
no, I don't want my. I don't know anything. I'm not like okay. No, I mean maybe I've never really asked you about it. I do know you have a female best friend. I'm not saying
it's not okay.
I'm not doubting it. I'm saying, and again, whenever I say something, I want to always be clear that when I say everybody, I don't mean. I understand there's always the anomalies.
Yeah. But do you think in general, right? We're in general.
Put it to you like this: it's never worked for me.
Okay, so if your wife it was like, and you knew, like when y'all got together, and she was like, "Yeah, I got a guy best friend." Do you think that he could be a true best friend?
My wife has best guy friends that were friends with every ex-boyfriend of her entire life. Literally, like there's a group of friends. And there's one holdover, and it's like, this is one of my best friends. And it's like, well, that girl, it was like her cousin was your boyfriend then. Or like that time it was like her landlord or whatever. It was always, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you sort of keep that world. You want to kind of, I'm sure you like those people, but me, fuck it. Okay. I would never talk to any of those people again. Why would I?
Okay, but
No.
So I asked that because I saw a video and it was interesting. It was a TikTok video, and like so the girl and her boyfriend, they called each other's best friends. So the girl called her guy best friend, and they were like, "I'm getting me and so and so." She was like, "Oh, me and so and so broke up," and it was to test the best friend theory, right?
Yeah.
So of course apparently she put him up to it, right? To call the best friend. So she calls her best friend and he fails miserably. She's like, "Oh my God, me and so broke up." And what does he do? "I told you he was a piece of shit. You need to be with a person like me anyways." So the boyfriend's like, click. Yep. You're never talking to him again. Blocked. So the boy goes, "My best friend's solid." And the reason why I felt this resonated with me, because I felt like this is very true. He called the best friend and was like, "Yo, me and so, we didn't work out. We broke up." The best friend was like, "You better not go lay up under somebody else. You better go make that shit work with your girlfriend. I don't want to hear you talk that bullshit. Just that and the third. Keep your head up." I said, holy shit, that's dope. So he was like, there you go. My best friend's solid. We know that she's really just a friend, this, that, and the third. So I felt that resonated with me because my a past relationship, not to say now, because my girl, she has a guy best friend and I have a girl. And it's not like we overstep each other. we all know our boundaries. Now, me and my best friend definitely cross boundaries. Not saying we crossed the line, but we crossed boundaries to like super like. If you were to see me and my best friend 10 years ago, you'd be like, "You sure they haven't dated?" Because it was like some brotherly, sisterly shit. Like we would see each other, and I would be in a relationship, she'd be in a relationship, but like she'd be jumping on my back, we were clowning around, playing, fighting, wrestling, shit like that. But we were true best friends, shit like that. Hell, when she was at Central and I was 2 years behind her, so like my junior year, her freshman year at Central, I would go to her dorm and spend the night. We sleep in the same bed. Nothing ever happened. No kind of feelings, nothing like that. Like true best friend. So my last relationship, she just never believed it. My ex was like, nope. She wants you. And I'm like, holy shit, that's bullshit. I really feel that like people can have those relationships.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see that. Like I was like, yeah, good for the girl best friend. And I felt them like, yeah, I don't know about guy best friends outside of my girl's like guy best friend. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't get that kind of vibe from him or whatever, but it's just like, I wanted to see if you thought that maybe it might have been like a generational thing, maybe with the younger guy. I wanted to know what y'all maybe think. Like, no, matter of fact, can
tell you
he
a
have a
perfect
guy
story.
or a girl guy best friend? Can she have a guy best friend? What's it like? I don't know. You know what I mean? What's up in the comments?
I had a girl best friend.
Okay.
She was hot. Okay.
Okay.
Sat behind me in school.
Okay.
Yeah, no. We haven't talked in a long ass time.
Got you.
She was super hot, and we got to be really good friends, and then became like best friends. And sometimes, like, we would run to her house or whatever, and she would have to change her clothes, and would literally, strip.
Yep.
Bra and panties, and at least once, just boobs. And I looked, and she was like, come on, you're like my brother. Don't look at my boobs. And I'm like, oh, this girl had big boobs.
She wasn't your best friend. You were her best friend, but you were her best.
No. Like, what? I'm sorry. Even if my best friend was a guy and he had big boobs, I'd be like, oh my God, look at the boobs on you. How would I not notice that is all I'm saying. Anyway, we used to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was an amazing basketball player. I think I told you about it. She used to bang threes like nobody's business, dude. Just from downtown all day.
Just banging threes.
Amazing. We go home. She was a Knicks fan. I was a big Knicks fan back in the 90s when this was going on. She was a pot smoker. She liked to drink.
She was the homie.
She was, yeah. And I wanted to bang her.
So she wasn't the homie then.
But wait.
She wasn't the homie. Well, yeah, you just smashed the homie, so she wasn't the best friend.
Wait. After a while, she would change in front of me. And yeah, I would just like, I was going to say I looked at my phone, but this was like in the 90s.
Yeah, you were just normal. It was just.
But yeah, she would get changed and I would just like look away. Like, I'm not going to oogle my best friend. That was the relationship we had. One night, I drove her to a dude's house for a date. She was supposed to go out. I mean, she's going to go hook up with a guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's some best friend shit.
And I pull up in front of her house, and I was like, hey, she was like, what are you doing? And I don't know. I was like going to go meet up with my buddy.
Were you friend zoned?
No, I was worse than this. She looks at me, and she says, we're best friends, right? Besties. She says to me, I think I'm in love with you. And I was like, no, you're not.
It can't be.
Because I've turned off any attraction that I had to you a really long time ago.
Okay, fair enough.
I definitely viewed her as a friend only. And again, smoking hot.
So, okay.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, geez.
She says, we should kiss. And I'm thinking, I don't want to kiss you. Not on the mouth. Gross. Yeah. And we kissed.
And it wasn't.
And it was like a long, wet, like a Bull Durham kind of bullshit kiss.
Ooh. No sparks. No.
For me, nothing.
I mean, big boobs and all.
I mean, nothing. Nothing doing. Wasn't interested. And she looked at me and she said, take me home. And I was like, I just want to leave you here. I don't want to bring you anywhere.
I just want to say her.
And like the whole rest of that night, she like wanted to like get it on, and I was like, how do I tell this girl I'm oddly not interested? And I knew, Rob. I held out for like a week. I avoided her for a few days. Next thing we hung out, it happened.
And that was it.
It happened, and it was all fucking over right then and there.
See, yeah, you can't do that. And I think so. My best friend.
And then how do you tell your best friend after she kisses you? You're like, oh, that was gross. Not interested. So of course she was like, how was that for you? And I was like, yeah, that was something.
See,
you know,
she wasn't your true best friend because you should have been able to like, yeah, nah.
She was
I'm
perfect.
good.
She was a perfect best friend. She loved sports.
And you gotta be like, I don't want to ruin that.
And she liked. I mean, she was great.
I could never think of my best friend like that. Like,
great.
I'm good. I like, yeah, no.
I don't know about you. I have a
good.
rule though.
And I had the biggest crush on my best friend when I was in high school.
Says she wants to get it on. I say yes.
That used to be my rule.
Yeah.
And it didn't necessarily
it's
have
not my
to
rule
be
now.
like, attractive at one point in my life. It didn't necessarily have to be attractive. I was a thought box. Early Fort Drum days. Oh, geez. Thought box. So, anyways.
Past a certain number on the 1 to 10 scale, it's an auto yes, even when I know it should be a no. You know what I mean?
See, I had some no's. I see.
I hooked up with my best friend's girlfriend once. That happened.
Your best. Oh,
he was a dude.
Geez.
Unfortunately, in this story, so that would have played out well. Yeah.
Imagine it. Never mind. We're not even gonna get that deep into that. But yeah, other part of traditional relationships I wanted to talk about.
Anyway, my answer is no. Guys and girls can't.
Okay, so all right. As far as I've realized that like the checklist for women, like what they want in a man, versus like the checklist for a man, like what they want in a woman. Those checklists are like super different, right? So like in society, you look at it. And it's like women want somebody to provide for them. Women want somebody. Not saying you, Eden. Jesus. Women want somebody to provide for them. Women want, you know what I mean? And like financially, so whatever the case may be, they want somebody to, put them up and, be the breadwinner. You got to be your emotional fucking support. You're all this. You gotta be the protector, the provider, the this, that, and the third, right? When you think of as a man, what do you want for a woman? Like when you're like, when I think of a wife, what do I want for a wife? Are you like, oh, she has to be this, she has to be a 10, she has to do the dishes, she has to what? Like, I don't think men's lists are that like stringent where like women are like
mostly just
he has to make over certain amount of money. He has to have this. He can't be living with his parents. He can't be doing this. He can't be doing, and these expectations are like early.
Penis, I think
like super early, right?
I think that's
what was that?
A willingness to touch the penis.
A willingness. Okay. So solid.
A job and teeth. I think if you have those three things, you're on the list.
Bet.
For most guys.
And there we go. For most guys.
That makes the list.
Willingness to have sex and some teeth.
Yes.
That's not hard. But why is it for women?
At least most of the forefront ones.
So we went from a society, not saying that this is where we should have stayed, or the old days of, the women are in the house and doing this and that third. But it was
nice though when it lasted. I'm just saying.
I never experienced it. Well, I can't say that now. We share things, but
she
does more laundry than I do, like, which is cool. But anyways, but I feel like with now the times changing, like these standards and shit should like really start changing as well. Like we're getting into a modern day. Like I'm a person, I love 50-50. Or at least, covering certain things. Like if we're
going Dutch,
I'm a full, like if we're dating and shit like that, of course, like the first couple dinners, I'll probably cover or whatever. If you want to cover, I'm not. If you say, hey, let me pay, I'm gonna say no. If you offer the second time, that no's gonna, okay, you got it. I'll pick up the tip. Perfectly fine with that. Yeah. If we're living together, sorry. we need to be splitting this shit. If you want to call it a roommate, I guess we're fucking roommates. My mother didn't raise me just to fucking take care of somebody else's daughter. Like, this is an equal thing. Right. Because I feel me, especially as not even as a man, but me as a person, if I'm going to just be carrying the extra weight of a whole nother human being, then you got to live to certain expectations. And why? And I think now women are not, and this is going to sound so bad. A lot of women that want those things, that they want the access to the unlimited black card. They want the cars. They want to just be able to sit at home and fucking do fucking makeup tutorials and do like make their own little side business and all. Like, cool, but they're not willing to do the work or what is necessarily entailed for certain things like that. Like, so for me, if I'm gonna be shelling all that shit, one, you're not gonna be asking me where the fuck I am. Like, if I decide to go kick it with my boys until 9 playing wiffle ball, I don't want to hear shit when I walk in the fucking door. If I'm on my motorcycle all fucking day because it was a nice day and I say, hey, I'm going out, don't ask me where the fuck I've been.
How's that playing out in real life, though?
I don't do that. I'm a 50-50 guy. Now, me now just, and even now, me now being the primary breadwinner, it doesn't matter. Like, even now, I've started recently just covering everything, but at the same time, she still covers. So I shouldn't say cover everything. She'll take care of groceries and other shit. We have our own little system, but the system works, and that's what it is, and that's what it is, right? But it's not. Once again, it's a co-working system. It's not just, hey, I'm doing this. If it was just all on me, things would probably be a little bit different, and I would expect certain things higher. But like I was saying, if you're going to do those things, and these are the same things for men, right? And it works just with men. If you have a woman that is the primary breadwinner or stuff like that, you can't be talking about you're the fucking king of your fucking castle and all this shit. I got to be the man and I got to make the rules and my woman got to listen to me. No, motherfucker. You got to listen to what the fuck she's telling you. Guess what? Been there, had to do that shit. My male ego did not put me in the male of the fucking house. You hear me say? Like, those are the things that you have to, those are the sacrifices, those are the things that you're looking for. But I also had that understanding. If I wanted to find me a sugar mama or something like that, I couldn't be fucking, who was I to make some fucking rules? Who was I to sit there and, so certain things like that. But I don't know. I feel like this new relation, like I said, I can't be single. I said this a couple episodes. I couldn't be single to this day. Because I'd probably be single for the rest of my life because I'm not paying your rent for you to do that. I'm not fucking giving you money. I'm not cash apping you every fucking day for a $20 breakfast. I'm not fucking, I'm not paying your subscriptions. I'm not paying, I'm not paying.
So my wife was mad last night for the 5.5 hours of wiffle ball. Not appreciating the miracle that it was that we won all those games, but that aside. But I came home and then she was all bent out of shape, and I said to her, what like I always say when we're arguing, I said, "Why are we wasting the time arguing?"
There's that time again.
Like, this is a waste.
Waste of time.
Because we're gonna be fine in like a half an hour. And that's what it was. It was like an hour of like
waste of time.
And then it starts like teeter off, and you're like, now it's like 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? Now we're getting tired. Like the whole thing's for what? What was the point of that?
To release your expressions and I guess get your feelings out the way.
But then this also turned into what it always turns into, is that I don't share the same passions for cleaning that she does.
I am with you in the same.
I'm the outside guy, Rob. You saw the pool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mowed the lawn today. I power washed that retaining wall that runs around my entire property,
which looks phenomenal. By the way,
thank you.
Looks really good.
But
if you look in the far corner, you can see the old versus the new.
Yeah,
and, oh,
I
looks
left it that
phenomenal.
way just so you'd see it.
I love the
wanted you to see
comparison.
that.
I love it.
But so I do all that shit. I run a business. You know, I run a school.
Hey.
And I sell real estate. But apparently, I could do more laundry, Rob.
And that's where I
to
get
which I say that's an inside job. That's you.
Which by all means, I'm in the same boat. If you want me to do these things, then you pick up my other loads.
That's it. I'm mow the lawn.
If you don't
want
want
to do some laundry, I'll even dust. You do the lawn. You power wash that wall.
See? I'm sorry. I'm not. And that's the other thing. If I'm going to be doing all these things, you can at least figure out what's for dinner. You don't have to cook it. Don't ask me what's for dinner after you've seen me busting my ass off. Fucking, I don't care what I want for dinner.
Let me give you.
Tell me what I'm cooking, and I'll make it.
Here's when the argument took a tide last night into the ridiculous. We started laughing, and then sort of moved on because Jessica's a lawyer, and you could tell when you won an argument.
Yep.
She said to me, and I have to admit, I used to cook a lot, and she orders like get fresh shit.
Okay.
Where like, I mean,
what is like the Blue Apron?
Yeah, my 18-year-old can like follow the directions and make
Gotcha.
it. Like you just fucking do it. I'm gonna make that. I don't want to do that.
Gotcha.
It's like doing a puzzle. I don't want to do that.
Reading instructions.
Anyway, she said to me, she goes, in the midst of the, you should clean more. You should clean up the house more and do more inside chores too. She said, you ever going to make dinner again?
She's just firing all cylinders.
And I said, I will. I'm pretty good. And she said, nah, you're not. Now, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on here. Interesting loophole. I said, you don't like my cooking? She's like, it's not that great. I said, well, then you are an idiot. Because let me explain why. If my cooking is so shitty, how could you be so stupid as to ask me to be the one to make the dinner?
Touché.
And she laughed at that and started ticking off a list of all. And I was like, oh, dude, it's over. I just got you with that.
Yeah.
Why would you want a shitty cook to make dinner? Just because you don't want to do it? It's your turn.
Just and I find in my relationship, it's always not the accountability of but like the times. So she'll be like, oh, you didn't cook. And I'm like, no, I cooked this. I have to keep track of how many times I do something, not to throw it in somebody's face, but just so I can sit there and say, hey, no, remember I did cook this day. Like, I hate that. I really feel like
that wonky front step out front, right on the end.
Yep.
The last step going to the driveway. You know how many times I fixed that step?
A bunch. Let's say 10.
At least. You know how many times? Who keeps breaking that? Who keeps breaking that step? Her.
Well,
she keeps backing into it. It sticks out a little bit into the driveway, and she backs into it all the time. Comes out of the garage, doesn't go straight, goes on an angle and hits that step. And I've re-cemented it a million times. And it's a piece of shit. You knock this step over repeatedly, and you're like, did you fix that thing? I'm like, dude, how many layers of cement can I put underneath this thing? You know what I mean? Like, come on. This is the other thing. Like, I'm not a fucking handy guy. I've never claimed to be a handy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Something breaks in this house. It could be anything. My wife, kids, whatever. Dad, fix this. What the fuck do I look like?
Your dad.
Fix this? With what? Like a fucking magic wand? I don't know how to fix things. I hate that. People just, it breaks. Like, that'll take care of it. But what? With what?
I saw the
glue.
I saw the perfect post since we're in this little dad rant, right? It said a dad can be in the worst position, and the only words you'll hear from him are "I'll take care of it." And I promise you, he will find a way. He might get a little grumpy, but he will take care of it. To all the men out there, your hard work does not go unnoticed. Keep striving.
Did I tell
Joe, keep striving.
Did I tell you a few weeks ago, her complaint was not that I don't do what she asks.
You don't do it in a timely manner.
Not even that I don't do it in a timely manner. It was literally this. You don't seem excited about it.
Let me sit here and be.
I'm not even joking.
Put a smile on your face when you're doing the shit.
I'm like, you give me like some errands to run, and I'm not like, oh well, thanks for entrusting me with.
Thanks for taking my
these
time.
chores for today. I'll get at him lickety split, and then like what?
That's funny.
I seem off put when you ask me to do shit. I don't know, because I'm off put by it. You do it.
Oh my god!
But I do it.
You do it.
I do it, and I thought that's pretty great. I bet not every husband does everything you ask. I do, but now I don't do it with a smile.
Imagine if we got a smile every time we did the things. We would probably have a smile on our face to do the things.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were so enthusiastic after I did the dishes. I would be so happy to do the dishes every time if I knew I got a smack on the ass.
She says shit like, well, it's not my responsibility to get you excited to do the job. And I'm like, well, then you're failing at it. That's why I don't do it.
Exactly.
It would go a long way.
Next question would be, and final question in relationship talk, should women start proposing? They want all these things, right? And hear me out. Women know, right? Women know who they want, what they want. They know when they're ready, when they want to be proposed to. They're giving the hints of the rings, and they're doing that.
Yeah, what a fucking joke this whole thing is.
How come women aren't fucking proposing? If you know that you're ready, if you know that that's the man that you fucking want, if you know,
yes,
go get your man. Why are you not proposing? Why are you not proposing? I shouldn't have to propose to you. And yes, this kind of feels kind of personal.
I like it,
but
and I agree with you.
And even in the modern day, right? Everybody wants to be, oh, I'm the strong woman. And nothing wrong with that. Be strong women, right? Be strong women and step up to the fucking plate and get them a ring and propose. Why leave it up to the man? You want a ring? Get that man a ring. And maybe he'll get you a ring and y'all can sit there and be rings together, engage together. But women, why aren't y'all proposing nowadays? That's my challenge to women now. If y'all want to be so strong and want to be the queens
really
and all that, yeah. If you feel like your man's not ready, propose to him. See what he says.
Listen, chances are your man's an idiot.
Either he's going to say yes or no.
He doesn't know when he's supposed to do it. He doesn't know how to do it. It would be better if, and my wife's going to hate this, but if you just planned it.
Just plan it.
I'll do it. I'll show up. I'll do all the stuff you want me to do. I'll even pretend to be super excited about all of it.
Or she could just propose. She can get down on a knee, or she don't even have to get on a knee. She can just pull out a fucking ring. You want to claim your property? Claim your property. But women are scared because where do you go after a guy says no? But they just put the burden on us.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. I'm not putting no. If you want to be married to me, if you want to be married so bad, you propose to me.
Yeah, but now are they going to start making us take their names if they're the ones proposing? Is how this going to work?
My body, my choice. You can't make me change my name. Just the same way I'm not going to make you change your name. Don't make me. If you want to hyphenate, I'm a hyphenate too. My choice. My body, my choice. Ain't that how the girls do it now? Period. Pooh. But yeah, so yeah, that was my little thing right there. I had two things for you. Well, I don't know. Do we have anything else? Like, do we think that women should propose? Yeah, I think so.
I feel like I had a lot to get off my chest in this segment.
Yeah, it was good though.
I really did.
So, one part I had for yep, that's racist, and we're getting up there in time. So I want to give this a little bit more time. It was about suburban racism. And I was going to kind of entwine that with my suburban story today.
Yeah.
Of me going to suburbia today. But we'll wait for that because that's actually a long video. But there was a video that will... since we're talking about the Olympics, there's a video that Tiffany Cross, anchor on MSNBC, she actually served Megyn Kelly at Bright for coming at Naomi Osaka. Megyn Kelly has had it out for Naomi Osaka. Anybody that doesn't know who Naomi Osaka is, probably the next of greatness, next to Serena Williams and tennis. But anyways, there was that video. Yeah, we're supposed to talk about our heists. We want to do yep, that's racist, or we want to do heists?
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
See, we were supposed to do heist, and we then got all. Or we can just go ahead and just call it a night, and then go ahead and start with the heist next week. Definitely. So we'll have heist and our music list. That sounds like
I like that's a pretty good show.
Okay, so
but we should talk about first of all, Megyn Kelly is the world's biggest asshole.
yes,
I don't, and it's funny.
gaping asshole.
Well, it's funny because she left the right-wing media for the left-wing media, and you would have thought she would have changed her tune a little bit.
No,
what an asshole!
They needed the spiciness, and then we see what happened with it.
Here's what I hate the most about her is how she's like Megyn Kelly is obviously an educated person. I believe she's a lawyer, so she has her law degree. I don't understand people whose brain operate on like a simple level, like this means this. You know what I mean? I don't understand that shit. So this young lady, right? I guess didn't want to.
So
didn't want to be on TV or didn't want to be in a tournament and have to talk to the media. But then she does Sports Illustrated, which is a completely different thing and done very one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And Megyn Kelly's got a real beef with this kid because she did that. Because Megyn Kelly's an asshole.
And she's also stupid and uninformed, right? Because these photo shoots were done in 2020. The French Open was in 2021. So when Naomi Osaka didn't feel like doing press because her mental health was fucked up, she was like, no, I don't want to do it because you're going to keep asking me the same kind of questions that I don't feel like answering, that I've answered before. Don't feel like, putting my mental health in it right before a match. Like, no, I don't want to do it. So, yeah, Megyn Kelly decided to like try and slander her on Twitter or whatever the case may be and say, oh, well, her mental health was so bad, but she decided to gracefully, and if you check these covers, they're phenomenal. These articles are phenomenal. Anyways, but outside pretty much say, oh, she wants to protect her mental health, but she's out here posing and Sports Illustrated and all these other magazines. We'll play the clip. And then, say that real quick. I'm gonna let this queen just go off. I'm not even gonna rant. So if we get whatever, it's whatever. But Tiffany Cross served Megyn Kelly right. Go, queen. I love how you call her a bully. What's up with the fucking rooster fucking slick back to him? I forgot about that.
How about the Santa Claus is white?
Yep. Oh, she mentions that too. Man, fucking Corday got himself a girl. A woman, not a girl. I'm sorry, no, my bad, Corday. The audio isn't playing. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Sketchy. All right. That's all right. We'll kill it. All
right. Anyways, well, so listen, let me just jump on because here's the thing, right? This person, again, feeds chum to idiots. I don't think Megyn Kelly is a stupid person in real life. I think she plays one on TV. Again, the idea that this young girl didn't want to like talk to the press, but was okay with posing for Sports Illustrated, those things have nothing to do with one another anyway.
Facts.
Whether it happened before or after, or who the fuck cares? Megyn Kelly's, and again, why NBC brought this scumbag provocateur, as Tiffany Cross was just referring to her, a person who felt like, and she's right, Santa Claus is white. But if you're black, why can't your Santa Claus be black, Megyn Kelly? Why?
Because Santa Claus is made
why
up.
We have to tell all the black kids of America Santa Claus has to be white. And that's fine. I think Santa Claus is white.
Okay.
But Jesus is black, motherfucker. Deal with it.
They won't give
Black Jesus, bitch. How you like that? You're going to have the fucking fat guy that didn't exist for the black guy who did. Who wasn't Jesus, wasn't God or anything like that. But, what are you going to do? That's who you pray to, you dumbass.
Jeez. Well, I think
they hate that, Rob.
What?
They hate that. You ever talk to a real Christian? Like a Southern Baptist kind of Christian?
Okay, yep.
And you're like, Jesus was a Jew. They're like, he converted. To fucking what?
To his own.
What did Jesus convert
Christianity.
To? He didn't want until he died that the religion even formed. You fucking morons. Number two, you're like, dude, I don't know. Bronze Age Palestine, he would have been black. He was white. His name was Jesus. What are you talking about? Like, there was no white people there, you fucking idiots. You know what I mean? Like, dude, these people are playing fast and loose with the facts. I won't play along. I won't play your bullshit game.
What'd you say? Because they're slower. They talk with
They talk slow. They gotta think more about what they're gonna say. There's a lot going on there in the process.
Oh man, that was amazing. I think that was the perfect way to end it. Well, I mean, hey, next week, we're definitely going to do the heist, and we're going to get into our American top 20, 25 songs or whatever I said. Yeah, 10, 25, whatever. But yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, and we appreciate everybody being with us this beautiful Monday. As always, you guys know where you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that hit you off shortly. You can also spend some of that digital currency and hit us at $. I'll hit you off shortly, all spelled out. Or you can go ahead and hit that share button, like, subscribe, all that good noise here. Tell a friend to come check us out on I'll Piss You Off Shortly every Monday night, 8 p.m. ish, between 8:05, you know what I'm saying? Depending on when we get in. But you already know you can find us here every Monday night. And if you can't find us here on Monday nights, if you might be too late or, maybe, have to do something during the day, you can always catch up on the audio that comes right on after this. And then you can also check us at clovercrestmedia.com, where you can also find a plethora of so many different podcasts, whether it's murder mysteries, whether it's sports, because I know we got a bunch of them, whether it's traveling, whether you just need some good mental health, whether you need some relaxation. We've got it all at Clovercrest Media Group. So make sure you guys checking us out, telling a friend and tell a friend, pass a good word like Big Bird.
I'm actually planning on starting a new podcast.
Holy shit.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's called Hey Megan Kelly, Jesus is black, motherfucker.
With that being said, I'm Rob Benjamin. That's Joe Guire. I'll Piss You Off Shortly. Good night.
Hi, my name is Zach LaPlante. Have you ever imagined about starting your own podcast or radio show to voice your opinions and share your passions with others? You think to yourself, how would I even start something like that? I don't have any equipment or any experience whatsoever. Well, look no further. The folks at Clovercrest Media got you covered. Clovercrest Media Group is home to over 30 individual podcasts, like Divided We Stand, I'll Piss You Off Shortly, Speaking It Real, and so much more. At Clovercrest, our sound engineers only believe in the best sounding audio quality, and their expertise will make your podcast sound professional and pleasing to your viewers. As a media group, we are obliged to every type of media available, including, but not limited to, video, audio, photography, and digital media marketing, as well as live streaming, and so much more. As we say here at CMG, the harder we work, the luckier we'll get. To jumpstart your podcast or program, go to clovercrestmedia.com and get to recording today.